In this kaleidoscope of pictures here, I want to highlight the level of stupidity that exists in the world today. And I'm appealing that we need to change the way we do things, or else the amount of stupidity in the world right now are going to put us straight into the Middle Ages. In fact, I think we are almost in the high Middle Ages when stupidity was dominant and people were very evil. This is where the world is tending to go right now, and unless we have a reformation, this is going to be the end of all things, it seems. Now, at the bottom here, I have this sweat lodge. Now, this thing confounds all science. You have a little cramped space here with so many people in it, and then you have heat going through there, which seemed to me is going to bring in carbon dioxide. It's going to, the oxygen level is going to be dropping, and folks are going to be falling out. All kinds of things going to start happening. Now, here it is, people are doing things in America where we have all this education. I mean, these people are not qualified to do things like this. This is stupid, because this defies all medical knowledge we have today. Then we have David Letterman. Now, he talks stupid stuff every night. His top 10, he takes serious things, the president, and laugh at it. And over time, his mind has become so trivial that everything he could come up with is trivial. You want to have sex with all the girls in his staff. You want to set up this guy and lock him up for blackmail and extortion and all that. Then we have Hulk Hogan. Now, he was this big wrestler doing rough things to people, breaking them up, winning this and that. But then this man is a big pussycat. His wife decided to leave him, and he's thinking of killing himself, suicide, putting a gun in his mouth, and somebody, Lee's daughter, called and he changed his mind. I mean, what kind of thing is this? Here's a serious man that people thought was strong and everybody wants to be like him, but yet he's a weakling. He can't take on the wife leaving. You're so popular. I mean, people like you so much, get you a next one and just move on. Then we have the dancing bears with the Russian couple. The bear killed one of them. Now, I think that people today having animals as dear friends. They have alligators, they have tigers, bears, pythons. They have all kinds of exotic, dangerous animals. And somehow, although the world right now is so evil, everybody's into Halloween and yoga and all this evil, yet they're thinking that they're like Adam, when God gave Adam dominion over all the fierce animals. And so, although they're evil, they're saying, oh, I could do the same. But there were several things that stand out between Adam and these evil folks. First of all, Adam was a giant. He was almost 18 feet tall. And that amount strong, he could have lifted up an elephant. And so, by natural strength, they couldn't mess with him because he could just, a boa constrictor couldn't outstretch him. He would just pull him apart. Plus, he had angels and God protecting him. So even though he might have been asleep and an animal might want to attack, the angels were protecting. Now these folks that mess with these dangerous animals, they're not people that God is protecting. And plus, they're just pygmies. These animals are stronger than them. And so, in fact, this is one of the reasons why you had the flood. Because people had created animals that were so awesome while man had declined that men were in constant fear. So God had to get rid of these amalgamated animals that these people created. Then we have James Ray. This guy is supposed to be a guru. But what seems to me is that he is following the Ron Hubbard philosophy, this New Age thing, this Dianetics, whatever it is. I recall when I was living in Toronto, I was passing on Yonge Street, and a guy with a clipboard stopped me and he asked me a couple of trivial questions. I answered and he said, oh, you look like a smart guy. Well, I see here's a black guy, this white guy telling me I'm smart. I wonder what he's up with though. So he says, could you come in and do a test? I went and did a test. He said, oh, you score so well. And then he's trying to tell me about this Dianetics and this joint, this foolishness. And I said, man, come on, bro. I mean, I have theological experience. And I can't go off on these tangents, this stupid stuff they coming on to me with religion or whatever. And so this Earl Ray, many of these individuals in his powwow, that he could motivate, they could get a life and all that, they don't understand they're white. And they don't even have to have all that power. They just have to go, just believe in it and get his job. Tell the boss man, look, although I'm not trained for this job, I could be the man for the job. I this and that. And they didn't get it. So all this kind of extra power they want, it's unnecessary because they already have the ability to get the job, and I don't know what they really want. They want to maybe go and mesmerize people, and you fall apart and give me a whole check, give you all your savings, so they can go and share it among them friends, and then come back and say, "Yeah, I lost all your money." And then we have Jesse Jackson here, great guy that was with Martin Luther trying to get some civil rights in place. But I recall not so long ago he was talking about how people are spending too much. They need to cut up the credit cards. We can't be a thrift, a spend, throwaway society. We got to be frugal. And look, the economy pull up, and then these people that stop. Oh, they're not talking that again. People intuitively knew that their financial security was bunged up in the amount of money that was being circulated, and even if they spent 3/4 what they had, they still would be better off than if they try to save all, because the economic activity, the GDP, will be contracted so much that so many people will be laid off, and then it's going to contract further, more are going to be laid off. So people were spending intuitively and kept the economy going. So like Greenspan and this Jesse Jackson, they come with all the funny talk, and then the economy put up, and then they just gone away. And finally, this plane that had gone off track for about a whole hour or more. Now they're trying to tell us that they were arguing about the company policies, and people believe they were sleeping. Now, I mean, they feel that people are that stupid. You think they're seriously interested in government the corporation policies? And they were trying to get them by radio. They're sending them text, and they're not responding. So weird, like they were in a different world where they hypnotized and they're just arguing crazy. No, they probably were sleeping, or they were high on, well, they did a test and they weren't on nothing, but something ain't right here. And it's not that they were arguing about nothing. That's just a talk they come with, feeling they could, hoodwink us with. And so in this hour of abominism, in which the president and the first lady and the second lady and the vice president are all doctors, this is wonderful. I want to think this is the first time the White House has been under the influence of 4 doctors, and this is wonderful. And I hope that this sort of excellence, Ivy League people and so on, will permeate through the society, and people will come back to wanting education again. They'll want education just for education's sake. Oh, I don't want this MBA so I could be the boss of this company. I just want this MBA so I can make good decisions. I'm going to know my stuff. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to not do drugs. I'm not going to smoke, because I understand what it's going to do to me. And yes, we have medical facilities, but when you destroy something, it's hard to replace it. Now in chemistry, you can't destroy anything, but not with the human body. You could bring the mind down to such a level with all these drugs, and when you go in rehab, it would never come back to how it had been. So that you don't even try to bring it down and say, I'll bring it back with drugs and good food and rest and all that. You never get it back to how it had been. So this is what my take on this whole situation is, that we need to come back to the place where we operating intelligently. We reinvent education, that people have to know stuff. Not knowing to find it, but to know it, so that they can make good decisions. And that is how you know when somebody's educated, when they're making good decisions. They're not smoking, they're not drinking, they're not doing drugs, they're not, screwing around. They're respectful, they're honest, they're decent, they respect the law, they respect the Constitution. Then folks are not cussing and saying that, oh, I have a right to say what I want, to write in things with people that ain't true, etc. So, world, let us leave the evil alone. Let us get a good education, and let us operate with respect towards one another, and let us make this world a better, educated, well-informed place.